There we go. We have this analysis, and we're gonna go right into pawn races. Pawn races are just as they sound. They're when two pawns race up the board, and we see which one queens first. So he wants to examine Dvoretsky. Let's examine the sort of situation where both players advance simultaneously and queen at the same time, or almost at the same time. Here, the following outcomes are possible. Pay attention. One rook's pawn prevents the other rook's pawn from queening. The pawn queens with check and thereby prevents the enemy pawn from queening, or we get a queen versus pawn or pawns endgame. Or if both pawns queen, then one queen is lost to a skewer check along the file or diagonal. Mate follows, the queens are exchanged, and after which we once again have a pawn ending, or we get a queen ending, either an elementary one or one with some play to it. In order to get an idea of all of these possibilities, except perhaps the last one, we shall present a sizable number of examples. Oh, great, more examples. Well, in the previous chapter, we've already saw an ending which transposed into a queen versus pawn endgame. And earlier, we also saw cases where the king fell into check or the queen was lost to a skewer. Quite often, the chief problem of a position is either to draw the enemy king onto a bad square, or to avoid such a square with one's own king. All right. So this is a study by G. Walker in 1841, and it goes like this: B4, F5, F4, and then it says bam, B6, F3, B7, and then F2, and then Queen B8. Queen B8, we're gonna make a queen. Gonna bring this queen in here, and F1 queen. Okay, F1 queen. Queen B5 check. Very important. So threatening the queen, threatening the king. The queen has to take. Bam. So he gets off the file first. King captures B5. King G4. A4, H5, A5, H4. Bam, 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 bam. And then the queen prevents the other queen from queening, and it is a win for white. So I'll go into the text. This simple example illustrates points 1 and 6 of the above list, so the one I just mentioned. The following example is for points 2 and 4, perhaps the most important ones. Okay, so we're going to go into the next one. This is by J. Moravec in 1925, and I'm going to set that example up for you guys right now. Bam. Alright, so 1, 2, this is a pawn. And then the king is here. There's no queen on the board. Alright. So white's going up, black's going down. The only move to draw is king d5. King d5. And for those of you watching at home, if I ever set up a position and you just want to solve it, just hit that pause button. Okay? Hit the pause button, take your time, try to solve it, and then resume the video. Okay, that's a YouTube exclusive. Okay. King e5, king g2, so they were both exclamation points. So why not king captures h2? Because after king e4, king g2, guess what? This square is a mined. Bam, corresponding squares. Right now he has to give way. Give me that, and we're going home. We're gonna get a girl. All right. So let's start over. So king e4, king g2. Oh, sorry, king d5, king g2, h4. And he says, white's pawn queens immediately after black's. And then he goes into further on king f5. I think king g2 still wins, and white's queen will be lost after queen a1, unfortunately. Right, so h4, bam, h5, bam. This is gonna queen with check, so. And unfortunately it's gonna queen, bam, with check, so he has to move, and then we play queen a1, preventing the queen, right? And then after, let's say he tries to bolster it, then we just play our queen to h8, and then we bring our king up, and this is gonna be a easy position to win. All right, so we're gonna go into the next example. Bam. Next example. There's too many kings. All right, beautiful. It is white to move, and we're just gonna go with the text on this one. Black's king is in the square of the f pawn, saying that this is a square 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but we really only want to count from here, right? Because it can move twice, so this, right? So this is the square here. Oh, by the way, guys, happy July 4th. Grab a lot of beer, a lot of steak, hamburgers, hot dogs, and chow down. I know this is a lot of the time where a lot of people go out to barbecues, eat, drink, get wasted, and I'm glad you're here watching my video about chess. All that's going on. All right. So white's thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and bam. Right. So we're in the square of the pawn. So black's king is in the square of the pawn. So the hasty f4 and king b5 only leads to a draw. All right. White has to block the king's path to the king side, called shouldering. So king d4. So we're gonna play king d4 first. Very important, so that he cannot get over here, or get over here and then over here, right? b5. Great. The other defensive plan gets instructively refuted. So let's say he just plays king b5. And this is just a basic shouldering technique, saying, hey bro, you're not going past me, and then I'm gonna queen my pawn, and you're gonna look basically stupid. So king b5, king d5, king a6, and I just play f4 and I win. f4, king b7, doesn't matter. f5, is he in the square of the pawn? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then he can probably get there, right? King b7, f5, king c7. Oh no, it looks like he's gonna get there, but no. King e8, king d8, king f7, and unfortunately you're a little bit too slow. b5, don't worry about it. f6, bam, and I'm just following the text here. b4, king g7, b3, bam, bam, and I queen with check, right? I queen with check. You have to move, and again we block this from queening. We're gonna put it under, and collect it. Great. Alright, so let's go back to the position that we had, and I'm sorry for doing that, but just want to show you the examples, and just in case you had any questions. Alright, and so next, so king d4, and he just plays b5. And he said, in a practical game, nearly every pawn for some reason ends up queening with check. There are times, however, where you have to work a little bit for it. So pretty funny. Every pawn for some reason ends up queening with check. Interestingly, if we place this pawn on b7 in the starting position, black saves himself by king b5. D5, king b6, king d6, king a7, f4, b5. Interesting. So f4, b4, f5, b3. Now the enemy king must be drawn to a checkable square. Now look at this. Look at this. The king, if we queen, right? If we queen, we're not gonna queen with check. So where does he need to be? He needs to be here, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna threaten the pawn and say, hey, you want to defend it so you can push it? It's a good move, right? Bam, 1, 2, 3, bam. That's a queen. All right, that's a queen. Now you queen first, but queen check saves the day. Queen check, right? So he can't go here because we're gonna play queen checkmate, right? So he has to play here, and then we still play queen checkmate. Isn't that awesome? Just as phenomenal, right? I mean, he could play this check, right? And then we're still gonna check and mate him. All right. Let's see what the text has to say. And he gave the exact same thing: mating or winning the queen. Okay. And we're gonna go back. And he's asking us, do we remember this position? And us chess masters, yeah, we remember this position. It's the Grigoriev study that we just examined, except with colors reversed and the black king positioned differently, which has no meaning here. So this is a tragic comedy. This is played in Amsterdam, 1972. Lubojevich and Brown against Brown. And here, king d5 would have won. Okay, so king d5 would have won, but instead, f5 and then king b4, right? So the technique that we wanted to do is that we wanted to come here, right? Right, so king d5, nope. Right? And is he in the square of the pawn? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think so. Right? You can't get in there anytime soon. So we're just gonna say nope. Right? So let's say, and so what ended up happening was that he played f5 prematurely. He played king b4, and he said, hey, I can't shoulder you out. Right? So unfortunately, you're gonna be under my pawn, and you're gonna go here. Right? So it's a draw. So a draw was agreed, and I guess that's the worst part. I don't know. I asked this question I think 2 streams ago or last stream. Is it worse drawing a 1 position, or is it worse to lose a drawn position? I think it's the latter. Losing a drawn position is horrible because you get no points. But I think in the same thing, I mean, you're still losing the same amount of points, right? You're going from 1-0 to zero point 0.5. And yeah. Okay, let's go into another one, another example. This is from More Conquest, Guzdal 1989. And this is another tragic comedy. And remember, GMs, they're not perfect, okay? They mess up just like we do. They just messed up so many times that they're used to seeing these positions, and now they're like, hey, I played like this before, so I gotta chill and I gotta relax, and I know what to do in this position. Okay, let's see. So black is queening this way. Oops, sorry about that. And white's queening this way, okay? So I will give you a little bit to try to find the solution, and just take your time. No pressure. I'll be right here when the song finishes. All right. So welcome back. Hopefully you were able to solve it, and we have Durdog. I was muted. So what I do is I let you guys solve the position. I put on some music, give you guys some time to try to understand the position. And this one I was trying to solve with you guys. And King Dave, what are my plans later? I want to stream. I was thinking about streaming for like 5 to 6 hours, and well, it's July 4th, so I don't know. I might go drinking. I might go drinking tonight. I live in New York City, so there are a lot of fireworks displays over here, especially like by the river, like the Hudson River, East River, oh Hudson mostly. There are a lot of firework displays, and they're beautiful. So I might go down there. I'm not sure yet. I know that my friends want to drink, and no, everybody was hearing the music, but. So what did you guys come up with? Because I came up with a plan, and I didn't get anywhere with my plan. I'm gonna be honest. I just couldn't get anywhere with the plan that I had. I I don't know. I'm gonna give you guys like about 20 seconds to tell me if you guys decided anything or not. Um, but what are you guys gonna do if you don't have a plan for this position? What are you guys gonna plan for July 4th? What are you guys gonna do? Drink, hopefully. Oh, I'm drinking tea right now. I'm trying to, I guess, prepare myself for the massacre that's gonna happen to my body. All right. Actually, I'm gonna put the music a little bit. I'm gonna put it lower, but so it doesn't like drop my sound. So let's put it here, and I'm gonna put it a little bit low, and I'm gonna just talk over it. I don't know if that's better. You can tell me, guy. You can tell me to mute it if you want. Um, yeah. So I came up with a plan where I would just want to play Bishop F6, but I really want to play A4 at the same time. So I came up with two. Oops. I came up with two plans. My first plan was to play here and take these two pawns. Okay. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, I'm just gonna play here. So, oops, sorry. Go back. Oh, give me a second, guys. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here. All right. And so my plan was to play Bishop F4. And so just to prevent the king from going here, or play here, and that was my plan. So I really like this plan of Bishop F4, just keeping the king at bay, and then having him decide what he wants to do. So I was thinking this line, what would I do? But then I would just play C1 Queen, and then I have to sacrifice myself, right? So he couldn't do that. So let's say, I don't know, what would he do? Like maybe E5, and then I guess I can just take, right? Take it. But then if I take it, see the problem with, okay, now I'm seeing it clearly. But I mean, when you're playing in a tournament, you really can't move the pieces. But yeah, I'm seeing it clearly now, where like if he plays E5, I can just move out the way. If I move out of the way, then I'm totally fine. He can't catch the pawn. So what I'll do is, I'll show you guys. Maybe I can just play King D7, King E7. I can even play King D7. I don't. Whatever. King D7. Avoid any checks. And what does he do? Knight captures F4. I'm gonna make a. I got a girl. But I mean, I guess it's not as easy, right, as it seems. But whatever. I mean, oh, this knight's trapped. Never mind. You can't take that. You know, like something simple like this, and not capture this pawn. Capture this pawn. Okay. I don't think we have to calculate this anymore, but I think that's a correct plan. First, oops. First play Bishop F4, and not go after the pawns immediately, but let's see what the thing says. Okay, so I'm gonna put the music just a tad bit lower. Yeah, bishop. Yeah, bishop f4. Exactly. Thank you. And you're gonna stay home and relax. Nothing special for me. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Relaxing is always good. Um, yeah. So bishop f4. Um, okay. So what did he play? So black had an elementary win with bishop f4, bishop g3, but Paul Keary's really strong grandmaster decided, hey, I'm gonna try to win with bishop b2. I mean, and sometimes you play moves because they look fancy, and it happens. That has happened to me in tournaments where it's like, ooh, this looks like it works, but then they have a one move refutation. So he played the dubious bishop b2, and his opponent resigned, believing that after king d2, queen c1, knight captures c1, bishop captures c1, king captures c1. And then king e5, king c2, king captures c4. His attack on the a5 pawn would come too late, but b3, right? King f4, king a4, king g4, take, and then the king just has to move away. King b6, king b6, oh sorry, king captures g5. Oh, I missed the move in between. So a4, he's gonna play that anyways. H4, a5, and I'm back. H3, a6, a2, a7, king, queen h1, preventing it. So that's what he thought. That's what he thought was gonna happen. But this guy has some news for him with bishop b2, and let's see, bishop b2. Let's go back to the king captures c1 scenario. Oh, and then king captures e4. Then he can play king c3 instead of b3. F4, king d4, king g4. Wow. King e5. Oops, sorry. King e5. King captures h4. King f6, king g4. King captures g6. h4, king f6, h3, g6 with a draw because I'm gonna queen with check. So instead of resigning, he should have considered both plans of either going to this side or going to that side, and he just believed that he calculated one line, well, it's over. But in reality, he could have saved this game. All right. We're going to go into the next one. Let's see. Oh, we have a bunch of exercises too. This one has a lot of exercises. Alright, so let's make a new analysis, set up a position. And this is also, this stream is for people who want to get better and people who have questions. So if you guys do have questions, you can just put in the chat. If you're watching this at home on YouTube later on, put it in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them. Please, this is just, I want to build a community where we can all learn together. Like, this is reinforcing my basics, and this is why I'm doing it with you guys. And I think that'll make me a better teacher. It'll have more people interested in chess, so it's a win-win for everybody. So yeah, please, if you have any questions, there's no such thing as a dumb question. Unless you ask me if I'm stronger than Bobby Fischer. Then that's a dumb question because I'm not. But yeah, go ahead. Just put it in the comments or put it into the chat on Twitch. Alright, so this is black to move. And we're going to take 2 minutes. Take 2 minutes. And see if you can solve this. Just remember that black is going down and white's going up. Alright, and just we're gonna do this when the music starts. And we're gonna let's put some of this on. Ready, set, go. Alright, and welcome back. Hopefully you guys solved it. If you did manage to find a solution, let me know. I'll put it right here in the chat. If not, then I'll give you the answer. So if you just want to relax, go ahead, just wait. Give the other people like 10 seconds to see if they want to reply. And this is a pretty interesting one. It shows the tactic. It really comes down to the half move. Alright, I don't want to play this. Sorry guys. Alright, let's play this one. Oh, you don't have it yet? Okay. It's reinforcing the basics. Remember that think about the pawns that we have. So if our pawn promotes first, then we can stop them from promoting. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Maybe I'll give you another 30 seconds. Yeah, and it's really has to do with, it comes down to the half move. So just think about like, hey, how can I get my pawn just like, how can I get a half move on them? All right, you guys, you have another 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Okay, cool. So, what is your solution? I'll let you try to answer it first, and then let's see. Put it into the chat. Let's see if you got it. And now put this music a little bit lower for you guys, so that you can actually hear me. All this music is beautiful. My voice is a bit better. Knight h4, yeah, knight h4. Right, so what we're doing here, bam. I mean, you can also play knight e5, but knight h4 is just more direct, and it's so beautiful, right? Because king has to take, right? You have to get the knight out of the way of the pawn. So after that, our king just moves, right? And then the king has to move. But guess what? We're a little bit closer, right? They have 5 steps. We have 5 steps. Ooh, and we have Will Wolf. Thank you so much for following. It really helps us. And welcome to the Chess Master and Training Squad. All right. So let's go down. Boom, boom, bam, bam, down, down, A2, H7, and bam, we get a queen and we prevent them from queening, right? And whatever they do, right? Remember, bam, anchor that queen in. We're gonna bring the king over. We're gonna win that pawn. We're gonna checkmate them. All right. How does 95 win? How does 95 win without a repetition and start position? Let me just answer Will Wolf's question. So I follow where's my modification. Well, the modification, I don't know what you're talking about there, but maybe notification. It did appear. It did appear. I saw it. That's how. Yeah. And the 95. How does 95 win without a repetition? Okay, so let's go back into the regular position. So just 95. Let's say he plays, I don't know, King F5. Then yeah, I think just the easiest way would be playing here. I mean, we just have to put it somewhere in the middle. Yeah, wherever it goes. I think knight F3 is just the simplest, and then here, this is just the simplest. But yeah, I think we do have to repeat position. So you're right. And you want to see the Lucina position. Yeah, let me just get through these examples, and then I will do the Lucina position for you guys. All right. So just give me a second. I just have a few more puzzles to go through. And these are all pawn endgame puzzles. So if you have the solution, put into the chat, and then we'll solve it together. And these puzzles, I have to solve them myself as well. So I'm doing these puzzles along with you guys because they do not have the answer in the book. We're going over Mark Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual. Amazing book. So if you do want to follow along at home, you please buy the book. It's such an amazing, and I think it's like $30 on Amazon. Such an amazing investment into your chess future. I think I've bought it like 3 times. I've lost the book while moving once, and then I gave one to a friend. Alright, so we're going to set up another position. Alright, so here it is white to move. White to move. Right, I have everything's correct. Yes. All right, so white to move, and let's. I'm gonna put the music a little bit louder, and then we're gonna start. And I'll give you guys. I'll give you guys maybe I don't know 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Alright, you guys have 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And I'll go over your solutions. Alright, so welcome back. Let's go over. Let's see who pushed. Okay, so Vamp the Chump said that he wants to just push the H pawn, and if the G pawn moves, King to E2 stops it. Okay, so let's move the H pawn. Okay, and let's say he plays G3, King E2. So what happens on D4? Ouch. So actually, Vamp the Chump wasn't here for the floating pawn, the floating square of the pawn lesson that we just had earlier. So I'm gonna just teach that really quick. So in this example, when you push H4, H5, sorry, we have this thing called the floating pawn thing. So if actually, so even here, if the pawns make a square and they touch both corners, then the king cannot stop them from queening. Okay, pretty simple, and it works in many different ways, but we went over a lot of examples, so I'll link you to the YouTube so you can rewatch that those exercises and me explaining them. But so if you do play, so you do have to stop this pawn, right? So King E2, and then D4, and then what do you play? H6, and then G2, King F2, D3. You know, then you can just play H7. You're gonna queen, but they're also gonna queen. D2, queen. Then you're just gonna play G1 queen with check first, sacrificing it, and then we're gonna play queen check, and this should be a draw. Yeah, this should be a draw. Queen D2 check, and yeah, I don't think I have to go over this, but yeah, I have a whole bunch of queen checks. Okay, so let's go over F5, and I believe that's the solution. That's the solution I came up with. So I played F5, and what do you want to play after F5? So let's just play the natural. Well, I have to stop this pawn, right? Right. 1, 2, 3. Right. 1, 2, 3, and the queens would check. That's the one thing that worries me. Okay, if it wasn't check, then maybe it would be okay. But it queens would check, and that's the reason I chose it, because they had to get out of check, and that saves me a half move. Gives me tempo. So let's say king c5. I'm in the square of the pawn, and then I can play h5. Cool. Let's say they play g3, king e1. Let's say king d6 to stop them, and then I can just simply play h6 and then queen, right? Because the king's not there to support these pushes, and I'm winning. Very simply winning. Cool. Pretty good job. Really good job on getting the solution. So let's go over the next one. Let's go over the next one. And if you guys need a little bit more of a challenge, I have a puzzle, a pawn endgame puzzle, which is not about the pawn races, but more about pawn. We went over it in our first episode of the pawn endgames. One of my favorite puzzles to go for, and I'll show you that one. That one's really fun for me. And this one is white to move. White to move and try to make the best moves. So you see these. Black's going down, right? So gotta get in the square of the pawn. So see if you can manage. Ready? I'm gonna put on the music. In 3, 2, 1. Just a quick shout out to Stapleton Chess. Thank you so much for following. You are now a chess master in training, and welcome to the squad. You guys have 20 more seconds left. all right, and we're back. So, does anybody have a solution to the puzzle? Does anybody have a solution to the puzzle? I'll give you guys about 10 seconds. And you guys at home on YouTube, uh, take as much time as you need. White to move. White to move and make the best move. I don't like to say win, lose, or draw. Just make the best move that you think in the position. So, can you find the drawing technique? Okay, so I'm gonna go over it. This is what I think we should do. And I think so. This is what I think we should do. And I try to solve the puzzle with you guys. Um, let's say here, here, push, 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 here, and then king d7. Is that if that's a mate, then we would be in trouble. But I don't know if he can stop queen g4 check. So queen e4. So maybe instead of playing there, maybe I'll play here. Queen g8. Queen g2. Oops, sorry. King e3. Okay. So that's what I thought was going to be the... Like, I thought this was a puzzle that we had earlier. Yeah. Let's see if anybody else can solve it. Yeah, there was a position that we had earlier where the pawn on the 6th did actually lead to a draw. And I'll try to go back to that example. A pawn on the 6th rank as a knight pawn when the queen just promotes was enough to hold it. So I'm just gonna go back to that position. And let's see. Well, it's alright if I don't find it. It's alright. So that's what I thought was gonna happen. So king d5. What is king f3? King captures d6. Oh, maybe that's the solution, because now he doesn't have g4 to check me from, right? But is he close enough? He might be close enough. Yeah, he's close enough. Hmm. Interesting. Very interesting puzzle. Very, very interesting puzzle. Wow. So I don't know what he wants us to find in here, but I can't find it. Let's see if you guys can find it. Black will not allow c7 if he gets a queen first. That is not the solution. Well, I don't think he can stop c7, but the king is close enough where it doesn't matter. Alright, we'll come back to this one. Analysis. Let's set up a position. We'll come back to that one. That was a toughie. This is super simple right here. White to move and win. So yeah, just win. I don't know why this is in this chapter, but this is super easy. I'll give you guys, well, I don't know if I should even give guys some time. So white to move and win. We make a queen. He takes and then checkmate. Okay. Yeah, that was too easy to give to you guys because you guys are the chess masters in training. So I'll give you guys the next one. To solve. White to play and make the best move. All right. And I'm gonna put some music on and go ahead. Alright, and does anybody have a solution for this one? Does anybody have a solution for this one? White to play and make the best move. What would you do if you were white? I need to know. I'll give you guys about another 15 seconds to find out, or to tell me in chat. Also, if anybody on YouTube has a solution to the previous problem, well, not the really easy one, but the hard one, you can link it in the comments, or you can message me. Alright, and since there are no answers in the chat, I will go ahead and I will try to play this position out. I think the only winning move is h4, right? Because if king f7, then they, oops, king f7, then g5, bam, and they just straight off pawns. So don't like that, or they don't trade off pawns, but hold on, I'll show you. So let's say I play king g7, then I play I don't know, king b3 takes, and king c4, g6. Maybe I just play g4 so I can get the king over here. Draw, and I'm able to get to the corner. So playing h4 first, because I don't want him to play g5. I mean, if he plays g6, then I'll come over and take the pawns. Like, well, they can even play h5, but it doesn't really matter. G7. Let's say the king tries to come over. I'm gonna take this. King tries to come over. Take. Very simple. And then push. Yeah. And we get a queen, and we know how to checkmate with a queen. Okay, great. The next one. White to play. Okay, this is another one where we just calculate easily. So white is here, black is here. Black pawn's here, white's here. White to play, and who wins? Put it right in the chat and let me know who wins this. I'll give you guys about 30 seconds. This shouldn't take more than 30 seconds. Oh, do you want me to, yeah, I'll go back. You didn't even show h5 followed by g5 for black. Okay, I'll go back. This is correct. So I'll go back to that one. This one's easy. I'll push, 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 and that queen would check. King has to get out of check. And is this enough to hold? Is my king close enough? Right? Yeah, I think my king is close enough. All right, but let's go back. And I'll set this position back up. Let's see. I just thought we were done, I'm sorry, with that position, so I skipped it. Okay, so what happens if so after king f7, correct? Oh, after h4? Okay. So let's say h4, g5. I just take. And if here, then I just come and promote my pawn. Right? And my king is gonna. Is that what you were talking about? Oh, Oh, okay, 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 okay. Cool. Yeah. So Black's king is misplaced, and thank you, Der. You are totally correct. Black's king is misplaced, and h5 for Black. So let's go back. So let's say h4, h5. We can play. This is interesting. So h5 first. Is that what you're saying? h4, h5, king f. Oh, king f7, g5. Oh yeah, I would play king f8. g6. No, no. My king needs to. Okay, the reason I don't want to play. Oops, sorry. The reason I don't want to play king here is because it blocks my check to the king. I want to promote with a check. That way, that half turn is mine. I get a tempo. So that's why I'm so hesitant to put my my king on that diagonal. So king f8 here, and then I'm gonna play e7, because if he has to waste a tempo, then that's fine for me. Then I can just play king f6, and if king b4, then king captures g6, c5, king captures h5, king d6. I can just stop the king from coming in, and the king is misplaced. So actually, thank you for telling me to come back to this, because that was actually kind of tricky if he did play h5 immediately. So thank you. Oh yeah, and you have the solution in chat. So thank you. Yeah, I'm always hesitant. Like if I see that I'm gonna promote and I'm gonna stop a check, I gotta calculate it twice. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do that. So thanks for that. So now we're gonna set up another one.